So, you got one of those high-powered pizza ovens at the height of their popularity, only to find out that throwing a fun DIY dinner party centered around Neapolitan pizza is a recipe for flour-covered surfaces, misshapen pies, and fussy participants who insist that any amount of leopard spotting constitutes a dish that's irreparably burnt? The truth is that while I still enjoy using mine, the hype for these ovens got way overblown. They're not fit for someone who just wants to make one pizza, and Neapolitan pizza is not a good choice for having friends over unless you can time the dough's window of proper proofing and form the pies well each time, and even in a best case scenario, you're still working both the prep station and the oven, not interacting with your guests very much. If you've learned this lesson the hard way and have thus fallen out of love with your home pizza oven, Panuozzo is your new best friend. Also, that's the only time I'm gonna say it properly. If the Brits can get away with Panuozzo, I'm allowing myself Panuozzo. First, acquire some pizza dough. Then, instead of stretching it out into a circle, make a big, long blob. If you've already taught yourself how to stretch pizza dough with your knuckles, you could use that technique. If instead you're familiar with making byang noodles, you could smack out the rough shape that way. Just be aware that you will degas the dough and it won't puff up very much. If you don't already have a preferred technique, here's the one for you. Make your work surface non-stick with bread flour or semolina, or if you're a filthy little fusion cuisine freak like me, some blue corn masa harina. Lay down the dough, drizzle a little olive oil on top, and use your fingertips to stretch it out. Any of the parts that you press down on really hard won't puff up as much, so you might want to try to be gentle. Here, you can already see how much more forgiving this is than pizza making. You can make a wonky shape and it'll still work. You can manhandle the dough and it won't irreparably fold over onto itself. As long as you make a vaguely loaf-shaped hunk of dough, you're doing great. I try to make mine as wide as my oven will allow. That's 13 inches in the Gosney Roccbox. The dough isn't paper thin and loaded with toppings, so it's quite easy to load on and off the pizza peel without tearing or sticking. Hey, wait a minute, some of you are surely thinking, he didn't even show us how to make the pizza dough. Here's my 60-second summary as to why not. There are enough pizza dough recipes online. There are recipes and videos from masters in the field, and I am not one of those. I will thus not be making one of those. I still use Jim Lahey's no-knead pizza dough recipe, as I have been for years. I like that you can just mix a bunch of stuff together, wait 18 hours, and then portion it into equal-sized dough balls. It is still my ideal pizza dough recipe. Your ideal pizza dough recipe needs just two qualities: high gluten formation for excellent chew, and a simple enough preparation that you actually make it on a regular basis. For me, that's the Lahey dough, linked in the description. For you, it might be anything from a high-effort biga-based recipe to a store-bought dough from the grocery store. I'm assuming that most people who already have a pizza oven already have a favorite pizza dough. Anyway, this oven is running around 700 degrees Fahrenheit with the flame turned down to low. You don't want all the color to only be on the top side, so that means you need a hot floor down low and a mild flame up top. Slide the dough in and get ready to turn it around. Just like with a pizza, you can't really just throw it in there and come back hoping for a finished product. But after about 2 minutes of work, it's bubbled up, risen, and charred. Take it out of the oven and move on to the next one. That's another way in which these are easier than pizza. Nobody uses these things just to make one personal pizza. It would be a huge waste of time and fuel. I make 4 minimum, usually 8. But since I don't have to stretch, sauce, top, and then bake each one a la minute, step by step, I can cook several of these much more quickly. As soon as one is done, another one can be in the oven in seconds. I do want to talk about how to bisect these things after they're baked. If you have a bread knife or a long slicing knife, you can use that, but it really does have to be razor sharp. A cotton towel can protect your non-dominant hand from hot dough and some potential knife mishaps, but if you have clean scissors or kitchen shears, this method is a lot easier. You're way less likely to smush the bread or slice your hand, and you can get a good look at how well you did at developing that stretchy gluten. After I've cooked and sliced a bunch of loaves, I have a choice. If this is all for me to enjoy myself, I'd let them cool down to room temp, toss them in a plastic bag, and freeze them. That way I have house-baked bread in cryostasis ready to be warmed up and used for some future lunch. But if I made these for a party, I'd bake them all before anyone even arrives. Then I could set out a dozen trays of build-your-own Panuozzo fillings and just leave the pizza oven on low. That way, I still get to have a DIY dinner party, I still get to be the kiss the cook emblazoned apron-wearing gatekeeper through which each finished dish must pass, but from a technical standpoint, all I have to do is wait for someone to hand me their mostly completed masterpiece before I slide it open-faced back into the oven. Everything is cooked before it goes in, so this is just a matter of cheese melting and flavor melding. After maybe 90 seconds, it can come back inside, get finished off with any optional cold fillings, and then get smushed into sandwich form. I don't want to gloss over the real game-changing element, the fact that you can do the hard part. the part that requires good dough, proper proofing, and a watchful eye over a flame that mimics a jet engine before anyone even shows up. Anyone who's ever tried throwing an Ooni pizza party knows the struggle I'm skirting this way. People show up and your dough is still cold, so it won't stretch out without violently snapping back. Someone overloads their pie and it falls apart, spontaneously fusing igneous rock into your oven floor. In fact, you could turn your pizza oven off and finish everyone's panozzo in a 400-degree regular oven if you wanted to. That's what I do if I'm just making one for myself with leftover pre-baked dough. A home oven preheats in 10 minutes. A pizza oven takes 45. With panozzo, you still get the flavor and texture of a Neapolitan-style crust, but the ease and crowd-friendliness of a simple sandwich. It's a win-win-win. My two most anticipated comments are, 1, I don't have a pizza oven, which, fair. You could use a pizza steel and an oven on max temp with the convection on, but it quite literally will pale in comparison. And 2, Paisano, your dough shaping skills are deplorable. They should puff up way more than that. To which I say, that only further illustrates how forgiving this bread is. A rustic shape and a so-so rise still leaves you with tasty, functional sandwich bread you can't get anywhere else. Not since the burrito have I been able to achieve a filling to bread ratio like this, and now I can achieve it not with a flat tortilla, but with blistered, crispy Neapolitan pizza dough. Last month, I made this steak and spinach panozzo for an Instagram post. 2 weeks ago, I did this one with a melange of grilled vegetables and herby mayonnaise. My wife doesn't eat chicken, so she was delighted by this chicken parm panozzo made out of fake meat tendies. The fact of the matter is, if it works in a sandwich, it'll work for panozzo. I'm not about to prepare a dozen different sandwiches just for 5 seconds each of B-roll, so here's a list of more suggestions in the style of those late 90s compilation CDs you would see on TV infomercials. The point of this video is, Neapolitan pizza can be hard to make, fresh sandwich bread can be tedious, but if you've got a fancy, unloved pizza oven languishing in your back porch, this could be the move. You will never find an opportunity to make homemade sandwiches with house-baked bread this easily and this deliciously ever. Operators are standing by, rush delivery is available. Call now. Trade has paid to be mentioned at the end of this video. Trade sources the best coffee across the entire country and brings it to your doorstep. They've built relationships with more than 55 local roasters so that you can taste their craft in your own coffee mug at home. I've been a Trade member for several years, so I'm finally at the point where I pretty much know what I like. I used their quiz feature to get a sense of which flavor profiles I prefer, and now that I'm dialed in, I buy the same 3 to 5 coffees in rotation. The prices are fair, the delivery is fast, and the coffee is freshly roasted, unlike the super stale beans you'd get at a grocery store. I like how customizable the timing of each shipment is. I know that some households need a bag every week or week and a half, but my 2-week delivery rhythm is perfect for me. I put it on hold if I go out of town, and this is one of those subscriptions where you're reminded and left in total control, unlike other subscriptions that kind of rely on you forgetting that they're there. If you drink coffee, I earnestly think that you owe it to yourself to at least try Trade. Visit drinktrade.com/Shaquille to get a free bag of roasted to order coffee with select subscriptions. That's drinktrade.com/Shaquille, and there's a clickable link down in the description if you don't want to type it out.